Successful business leaders never stop learning. Inform your opinions at Business Desk, your deep dive into New Zealand business, the markets and the economy. Subscribe with Google at businessdesk.co.nz.
You're listening to the Weekend Sport Podcast with Jason Pine from News Talk ZB.
James McOnie in just a sec. Text from Mahesh. He says, I'm constantly surprised by how surprised rugby commentators and fans are by the recent performances of the Fijian Drua. There are quite obvious physiological reasons as to why they perform better at home than here in New Zealand, and vice versa for New Zealand players over there. They performed credibly against the All Blacks last time there was a test match in Fiji. It's expecting a bit much from the island nations to put up a decent fight against New Zealand during a nighttime test match in our winter. Their respective records against the All Blacks reflects how it has never been a level playing field when it comes to where test matches are invariably played. Thanks, Mahesh. Yeah, I mean, last time the All Blacks played a test match in Suva was 1984. In the professional era, there have been 6 tests between the two countries: Hamilton, Dunedin, Albany, Wellington, Albany. A test up in Suva, why not? G'day, James McOnie. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Piney. Yeah, would love to see it. Would love to see more tests in the island nations.
Moana Pacifica, speaking of rugby teams from the island nations, I thought they were going to win that game last night. Did you?
Yeah, I thought there was going to be an historic victory, a great victory for the club and the franchise and for their fan base. And I don't know, just losing a game on a penalty try like that, especially a scrum penalty where they weren't right on the line. I mean, there has to be a better way for that to happen. I know there's laws, but at the same time, I saw earlier in the game a try being saved by the Blues where it was a high tackle, which is supposed to be a yellow card and penalty try anyway. So perhaps the Blues should have been a man down for a while.
Yeah, it was. It was oh so close, wasn't it? It would have been one of the great upsets, wouldn't it, in Super Rugby history?
Yeah, it would have been. And the thing is, you can see how they've been building Aaron Major and Filo Tiatia, just getting them together and improving them every week. And you know what? They're doing it on the stiff of an oily rag. They're getting players who are, have only just really begun their professional career. So I love to see what they're doing. As for Levi Almua, Piney, at centre, the big unit, I don't think I've seen a player who qualifies for more countries than him. I think he's Fiji eligible, Samoa eligible, New Zealand, and he went to school in Australia. So I'm thinking Eddie Jones will be sending him a sliding into the DMs anytime soon as well. But he is impressive, the big unit. Is
there any scenario under which we see him in a black jersey?
I think so, and they have to do it quickly. But my biggest fear is that I'd hate to see him chewed up and spat out in a bit like Peter Gus-Suakula, and there's others we can all mention, the one test All Blacks who never really kicked on, but were outstanding players. So, look, in a World Cup year, I think for him it's worth the risk. It's weird to say it's a risk to play for the All Blacks, but it is. And he deserves a run. Look, he can play second five or centre. It's all about yardage gains, and at the highest level, I think that still matters. I think his game is still relevant at test level.
All right, we'll watch with interest to see whether that call-up comes from Ian Foster or from elsewhere. Will Jordan will be in the World Cup squad. It was great to see him back out there yesterday after 8 months on the sidelines. He didn't seem to have lost any of his talent in those 8 months, James. No,
but I think it's been tough for him. He's gone through a world of pain, concussion, vertigo, all sorts of stuff that were destabilising him. But as an athlete, he's just, without question, one of the best we've ever had, and so he's going to slide in there either at fullback or on the wing. But then that means what happens? We've just got this bumper crop coming through. Of course, Lester Fainga'anuku still making every poster winner out on the left wing for the Crusaders. Sean Stevenson for the Chiefs, he's a fullback wing, and then Amone Narawa, scored one of the individual tries of the season on Friday night under the roof in the Sistema lunchbox down in Dunedin. So. And then you've got Caleb Clark and Mark Talia. There's just and guys who cover fullback like Damien McKenzie, Bowden Barrett, and Geordie Barrett. So we're going to leave a match-winning, like international class players, maybe 2 of them at home.
Yeah, again, the competition for spots, I reckon, almost from half. In fact, the whole back line, apart from 10, where I think we know who our 10s are. but halfback and then from second five out to the back three. You're right, there's going to be some very good players sat back on the couch like us watching it from here.
That's it, and there's not many tests to sort of experiment with. I already think that it's pretty evident you need to give Damian McKenzie a decent run in the 10 jersey. So do we see a backline of, McKenzie, Almua, and maybe Rieko Ioane for some seniority out there, or Anton Leonard-Brown coming back? But you know what I mean? They have to give, and then a Morning Arawa outside them. It's just, we might have to have a whole lot of debutants, Sean Stevenson at the back with maybe a couple of senior pros. But I was actually pleased to see as well, just on backline news, see Brad Weber play so well against Aaron Smith, because I think Aaron Smith still is our number one. But look, that was really Brad Weber saying, I can do that job, and why not pick me?
Yeah, indeed. Nice fend, too. Nice fend for his try.
Yeah,
Warriors. Yeah, he has got wheels and a good fend, yeah. Warriors, they were going along so nicely. 5 wins from 7 games, but 3 consecutive losses to the Storm, the Roosters and the Panthers. So, I mean, that's pretty decent opposition. What do the Warriors need to get back on track?
Well, I think that the bandwagon needs to go into the mechanics, maybe. I think the wheels have come off, but they just need to tighten the nuts, It's always worth it, because right now they're looking promising, but I still feel like they lack X factor and a game breaker. And of course, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck will make a big difference on that front next year. But look, you've got to look around and see what the other NRL teams have done. There's a guy called Lockie Miller who plays fullback for the Newcastle Knights. He's already considered one of the stars of the NRL, and he played rugby sevens for Australia. And there was another player who played for the Dolphins last night, Valence Tefare, who Wayne Bennett plucked from playing. He played a couple of games of NPC for Waikato, and he's put on a bit of beef, but he scored 2 tries on debut. So I think that's what the Warriors have to do, and they have to work fast. And I think the All Blacks sevens is where they need to look if they want speed and they want stepping. And the first guy I'd signed would be Leroy Carter, who some people might remember from the NPC playing for Bay of Plenty. But we just need some X factor, and that's the bottom line.
Yep, let's hope they can find it. Finish with some football. It was a bit tame the other night, wasn't it, the end to the Wellington Phoenix season?
Yeah, I know, Piney, and we were probably watching, just wondering when we were going to fire a shot. It was slightly disappointing because I felt like we needed to take a few more risks, and one of them was forced upon them, and Božidar Krajev, a Bulgarian, came on when Costa Barbarouses had a hamstring injury. But my abiding feeling about this Phoenix season is just not firing enough shots, and that's the thing. If you've got your top striker is almost going along at Erling Haaland levels of a goal a game, but nobody else really sort of chipping in and troubling the keeper, that's something that they need to really fix for next season. But also, just on keepers, did you notice that your mate Mo Salah scored a penalty, by smashing one down the middle? I think Harry Kane did that a couple of weeks before. So that's clearly a trend. And both penalties in the A-League on last night and the night before against the Phoenix, both down the middle. The keepers have got to pay attention to what's happening in trends in football, Piney.
Yeah, they do. They need to stay still, and they'll be and with a chance. Hey, just on the striking Viking, Erling Haaland, how good's he going? He's incredible, isn't he?
He's amazing. That beautiful hair. He could be in a Timotei commercial if they were. I don't know if it still exists, that product, but they need to bring it back for him. He is. He's magnificent. But one thing I like is that his standards are so high. He had a bad game last night. He missed a few and had an air swing as well. But it's a goal a game, and unashamedly, that's the standard he sets. And I feel like more strikers should do that. Pele did that. Messi's almost a goal a game. Ronaldo not far off. 80-something%. That's exactly how you should be attacking football as a striker, and be annoyed with yourself if you're not up to those standards. I know it seems ridiculous, but it's either a goal or an assist a game. That's your job.
I love this quote from Jack Grealish, his Manchester City teammate. He said he's the best professional, talking about Haaland, he's the best professional I've seen. He recovers in the gym, 10 hours of treatment a day, ice baths, diet. I swear, says Jack Grealish, I couldn't be like that. After a game, he says, hey, don't go out tonight partying. I just tell him to shut up and go and sit in his ice bath. Brilliant.
Well, he was Norwegian. He was born in an ice bath.
Yes,
that's his natural habitat, Piney. And, to be honest, I always always think that those total pros, he does look like a cyborg, and someone's got to cut him open at some point. I'm worried that what we'll see,
Yeah, AI at play here, perhaps. Yeah. Who knows? All right, mate, bloody good to chat as always. Have an excellent weekend or rest of it, and we'll chat again next Sunday.
Cheers, Piney. Take care, mate.
You too, mate. Cheers. James McOnie there. Craig Goes Wild, Kiwi Football Fix, alternative commentary collective, and Sunday afternoon contributor on our show here on Weekend Sports.
For more from Weekend Sport with Jason Pine, listen live to News Talk ZB weekends from midday, or follow the podcast on iHeartRadio.
Hello, I'm Liam Dan, Business Editor-at-Large for the New Zealand Herald, and I'm back with another season of my podcast, Money Talks. In this series, we're not going to tell you how to get rich. We're not going to try and pick the next interest rate move. Instead, I'll be talking to some interesting New Zealanders about how money has shaped their lives and what they've learned about it through the years. Join us every Saturday for a new chat with an exciting range of guests from the world of business, politics and entertainment. You can find Money Talks with me, Liam Dan, wherever you get your podcasts.